How you doing, buddy?
There he is.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, my
look at that
computer.
jacket, man. That's a styling jacket you're rocking there, man.
Thank you, brother. My computer is acting weird, so I had to do it this way.
All good, man. All good. Thank you for joining us here in Hollywood North, Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, beautiful, man. I love it up there. Whale watching and things of that nature. I did Arrow there.
I was just going to bring up Arrow, yeah, because yeah, you've worked here in Vancouver, right?
Oh man, such an amazing place.
Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course,
I
like
love
people are going to go like, I know this guy. Why do I know this
yeah,
guy, man? Like, there's
yeah,
so many things that you've done that we all love. Like, of course, The Walking Dead. You did The Wire.
yes,
Always
yeah.
Sunny in Philadelphia. Like I'm going like, man, I told my wife I was going to be talking to you, and we're last night like, what do we like you best in, man? And we can't decide. Like, what's like for you? What's been your favorite stuff that you've done? No, it's
I
hard to
don't
pick, right?
really. Yeah, no, I very much treated like my children.
Yeah,
So I love them all. Uh, but I was having fun playing Tobias Church and a lot of fun playing Tyrese and a
right,
lot of fun, playing Cuddy and a lot of fun playing Clyden on the Orville and Corey
right.
James on All American. And so, yeah, I just treat them like my children and say, I love them all.
Yeah, and like, what a blessed, like, overall, your career's been pretty amazing. Like, when you're working on The Walking Dead, like, did you were you sort of like surprised at how freaking crazy that show was, like, success wise, and like it was like its cult following?
Yeah, I know. By the time I stepped into it, I knew what was happening, because I came in season three. So the momentum was growing rapidly.
Yeah,
So yeah, I knew that they were cooking up something really good, and I was fortunate to be a part of it. That's for sure.
yeah, 100%. And same for The Wire. Like, I thought, The Wire for me is like one of those shows that if you haven't seen The Wire, dude, you have to watch that show. It's just that good.
Yeah, that's true. And then once again, I stepped in season three, so I had a bit of a moment to see what was happening and realize that something special was going on, and to be happy to be a part of it.
And what's it like working with Seth MacFarlane on the Orville? He must be a funny
Seth,
guy, yeah.
yeah, Seth is a great collaborator. He's not always on. There's a lot
Thankfully,
on his shoulder. Yeah, and there's a
yeah.
lot on his shoulders, and he carries it well. And it's fun and incredibly collaborative, as I said. And the work is the thing. And you can't find anybody more pleased when you're doing it, when you're really hitting it. He's just a cheerleader in so many ways. Yeah.
That's awesome. Of course, you make so much content that we love, Chad. I'm curious,
Thank you.
when you find the time, like, what is it that you love to binge watch? What are you watching lately?
The Godfather of Harlem, because I love history, and Malcolm X is one of my most intriguing people in history for me. So it's Godfather of Harlem for sure.
Yeah, and like, what are you sitting down and like watching like an episode or two, or do you?
No. I was been, that was my pandemic go-to. So I'm looking for the new shows to come out, but that was my pandemic go-to. And but I love documentaries, and I love CNN and ESPN and the Discovery ID stuff. I'm compelled by what real people are doing as well, and how fascinating real life is as well.
Yeah, there's a documentary I just watched where it's Will Smith hosting, and he's traveling the world with
Oh
like
yeah,
mentors
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
I can't remember what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah. Me either, but yes, stuff like that is really, really intriguing.
Right?
Because I love nature and I love adventures. So
Yeah.
I mean, not to the degree that he was doing it, but yeah, I'm a nature guy all day long, and I'm fascinated with geography and different places and
Yeah.
the way things operate, and the curiosity. What's under that rock? Hey, what's in that cave? Let's go over that hill and see what's happening. That's the adventurer in me that I was as a child. So
Yeah.
that's why, yeah, curiosity is the main thing, and a fascination with life and the possibilities, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I like stuff like we get into the David Attenborough and the BBC series and
Oh
all
yeah,
sort of things. Like it's
big
just
time,
really, it's mind expanding, it's mind blowing, really.
big time, big
Yeah,
time, big
yeah,
time, man. And I mean, you got the opportunity to go anywhere in the world. It's at your fingertips, if you're willing to click on it.
yeah. Most just stick around home though, most are homebodies and they're happy,
Yeah, it's our bodies,
which is
but hey,
fine.
I
Yeah,
love
which is fine.
sports in a major way. I love sports.
Oh, you do? I was going to ask you about that as well. Yeah. So
Yeah, oh
what's your
yeah.
sports then? Like, what's your team?
Well, I mean, I'm here in Atlanta now, so I've been fascinated with the Hawks. I was fascinated with them last year, actually, when they made the move to the Eastern Conference championships, and Ice Trey, and I just love I love basketball, I love football, I love boxing, I love tennis, but it's not many of them that I won't engage in because competition is cool. Um,
Yeah.
uh, so, but in terms of teams, I'm fascinated with how, five people have to genuinely work together in order for it to work, but yet one or two of them have to be supremely selfish at particular times. And to see it all play out and they find that balance, it's fascinating to me. So I show up at some of the games, when I get an opportunity. I got my son, I'm teaching him basketball. And so I took him to see LaMelo Ball and Trey go at it. And
Right.
LaMelo was a little too mellow that.
That's
And
nice.
my son, and you know what? My son was like, hey, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I know, Dad. Swish, and yeah, the wrist, and hold it up. Yeah, I know, I get it. Now, can we get the pizza and the popcorn? I'm not concerned with
Yeah.
it. So you humble yourself and realize that, hey, bro, at his own pace, because he's really good at it. He has the perfect build for it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so he's supposed to be 6'4", so, and he's very athletic, but he's still a little kid, so let him have fun. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm been a huge sports fan all my life, and from the Jets and the Giants, and back in the day, San 49ers, and Chicago Bulls. I just love excellence. When I see it, I love it. I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan though, big time, and just ran into after Troy and Emmett and the playmaker. After them, they just didn't look like the Cowboys anymore. So I had to let them go. You
right.
know.
Yeah,
So
fair.
now I think I just gravitate to excellence, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, and guys that just, Tom Brady, of course,
Right.
that consistently do it on that level, and just have us in awe.
You said something, Chad, that started sparking synapses in me. Where you basically said, like, it's those five guys and they all need to kind of gel and work together, right?
Yeah,
And even though they're all really good players, maybe it doesn't work well, right? Kind of thing. And I thought the same thing kind of happens with like musicians. Like even though you're a
yeah,
really good musician, it doesn't, like, you get four other guys in the room, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a super group. It doesn't mean that it's going to be amazing.
yeah.
Is the same sort of thing with what you do? Like, can you get four or five really good actresses on a set, and it somehow just doesn't work?
Well, the blueprint is the words on the page. So that written word on the page should be our Bible, if you will.
Yeah.
And everyone should be listening to each other. And everyone's goal should not be, oh, how I'm going to come off so great in this scene, but how do we tell this story? So you run into problems when people are like showing off and want to, just, chew up the scenery with how great of an actor they are.
Right.
And but when you get actors completely listening and present with each other and honoring the story, and you get a good director who can really sit back there and look through that square and see what's going down, you can get it anytime. It's probably easier than it is for a basketball or football team, but you do know how much they practice.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So I can't, if we could get some good rehearsal time in, which is a premium. So I would say that we have to come with our A game, our collaborative A game.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when we do that, oh yeah, we can hit on some pretty amazing stuff. I was just finished working on Girls Five Ever, and just finished. I'm working on Three Women for Showtime, and each one of these sets is supremely A game, present, listening. Let's tell the story, and I've been having a great time, and that goes for all those shows that you named off. It's people showing up with the intended goal to make the show the best it can be. And yes, we're going to bump heads. Yes, that's a part of the collaborative process.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to figure it out. Yes, the energy of another actor could possibly have, as you said, your synapses jumping and you didn't expect it. You know what I mean? And so you have to breathe in, breathe out, and continue to relax. Just relax into it. And, we do get take one, take two, take three, take four, take
Right.
five.
Right.
So with that, we got a good shot at it.
Yeah. Are you a fan of all the superhero movies that are being made, like the X-Men, Avengers, Wonder Woman, and all that?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with some of this stuff. The Incredible Hulk was my favorite. I loved Iron Man and Spider-Man and Batman. But a lot of that stuff people don't know is guys that were working through being bullied. And so these characters come about a lot of times because they're an alter ego. Of course, I wanted to be the Incredible Hulk because I wanted to turn into the thing that could take care of me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't a big guy back then. And so those flights of fancy into those different types of characters was very much a part of my life. So yeah, I still dig it. It's getting really elaborate, and so my son to tell me because I can't catch it all as well as he can with all the sequels and different things going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I love those. I loved Wonder Woman, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And which superpower would you want to have?
I think I would want to be invisible more than anything else. But if I had to, do a dual thing, it would be as strong as the Incredible Hulk and invisible.
You just love the Hulk, eh? It's
Well,
awesome.
but I could do some real damage, right? You can't even see me.
Yeah.
you so if I could combine, the Invisible Man with the Incredible Hulk, that would be my
Yeah.
premiere, dude.
Nice. Okay, so to one of the reasons why we're having you on the podcast today, you're starting a podcast
That's
as well.
correct.
So it's
Yeah, the
Humble Hollywood.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Humble Hollywood podcast with Chad.
That's correct.
So walk us down, walk us, how did you get to this point?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, I always, this is going to be strange, but I always love the radio DJ. Kirby Carmichael, the rock and jock,
Yeah.
and always wanted to be the broadcaster, Chad Coleman, CBS News reporting.
Right.
That's I was fascinated with communications as well. Acting is a form of communication too. So language and Shakespeare and things, just language, really loving language. And the art of conversation, man. A good conversation is incredibly nurturing. A great conversation can do wonders for divisiveness, ignorance, uh, fear, if you're willing to just open up and have that conversation. So we're trying to nurture the audience and just build more connectivity and get away from the divisiveness and just have fun, have a good time talking to one another, especially during this time, the pandemic. You can't go here, there, and everywhere. So you can sit and listen and be nurtured by good conversation and compelling human beings. And we can do it in a way that's kind, and we can do it in a way that's uplifting, and we can do it in a way that's fun. Because if I can live, learn, laugh.
Repeat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it.
So
That's
when are you
true.
when are you thinking of launching the podcast?
Well, first thing we're gonna do right now is have a launch party, and
Nice.
that's gonna happen in Vegas on April the 16th. So you'll be able to zoom into the party, and we'll have people like Charlie Day and Glenn Howerton, and we'll have the guys from Da Vinci and from BMF and Daniel Ezra, and then in the studio, in the theater itself, people like the new Captain America will be in the house.
Yeah.
uh, uh, so Anthony Mackie and Omar Dorsey and so we got comedians showing up, we got singers. So it'll just be one big kind of feel like a late night party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's going to happen on the 16th, but everything will be on the link. Or if you go to uh, Humble on Instagram, you go to Humble Hollywood W Chad. So the width is the W.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you go there, we'll have all the information for you, and you'll be able to see the digital flyer, and you'll be able to purchase your tickets and purchase your Zoom ticket or purchase your ticket to be in the theater live while we tape it.
Right, right, right.
And then, so after that, the streaming platform that we end up going with, they will use that to launch the show. And then the preceding episodes will be once a week with one individual, you know?
Yeah, yeah, dude, that sounds amazing. I wanted to point out one thing for you.
Yes.
I think it was on your Twitter page that you'd said something like, I think it was like humblehollywood.org.
Yeah.
So I
See,
clicked it.
now, right. But I know that's something that's a clothing line, right?
Yeah,
Young lady, right? Yeah, yeah. We fix, that's because they're humblehollywood.com and we're humblehollywood.org, right?
okay,
But the podcast itself is not, that's a separate entity.
right,
The podcast itself will be a separate entity. So you have to put in Humble Hollywood Podcast,
right, right, right.
W Chat, and then that way you won't have any confusion.
You'll find it, yeah. I
Yeah.
found interesting on the bio that was sent to me
Yeah.
from your press people. You spent
Sure.
4 years in the
In
army.
the army.
So
Yeah. And then
yeah, man.
here
So
we go. Now
yeah,
watch
dude.
this.
So tell
I
us
was
about
a
that, man. That's
video
cool.
cameraman. I was a video cameraman and I was working in communications. I did radio and TV. Yeah.
And
All of
this is
that's
like all
available
prior to
in.
you acting, of course,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes. I was acting in high school.
Yeah.
Seriously, I already knew, and I did 1 year of college at VCU because inevitably I was supposed to go to NYU, Tisch School of the Arts, and things fell apart because Ronald Reagan made some choices that took a real opportunity from me. But I kept moving, And so once I went to VCU for a year, it's a wonderful school, great training ground. But I was so advanced in what I was taught in high school from my teacher who had gone to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So I was already learning so much technique that you get bored fast when you know things that other people are just trying to learn for the first time.
Yeah, you're just kind of sitting around.
Exactly. So I decided to go into the military, and I said, I love communications. So let me go and see if I can find a vocation that will allow me to not struggle when I get to New York. And so that was the idea behind it. And I walked in and asked, what do you have in communication? And they had an audiovisual specialist. It was a brand new job, 84 Foxtrot, because they name everything.
Yeah.
And they showed me that I could travel all around the world, shooting video, photography, being in the studio, recording things. And I was like, wow, that's for me. So that's what I did. And yeah, it was the most amazing experience. I got to pretty much see the world, and everywhere from Alaska to Japan. So it was an incredible experience. So much time in Germany, the Netherlands, and yeah, just an amazing time. And then I came out and went on to New York and went on to pursue my career, and found out quickly that all those 4 years in the Army didn't mean much to the world out there when you're trying to compete with all these other big time communication schools, especially when you're in New York. Did not get one job interview.
Oh, boy.
Not even one. I put the resume together, no one called. And so the first thing I ended up doing was being a stand-in on the Cosby Show. And I just kept moving from there.
Wow. All right, Chad, let's get outside of acting real quick here.
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
what you're known for. What's the music like in the Coleman house? Like as a kid, what are your parents? What are you being influenced by?
Sam Cooke, and Sam Cooke on the gospel side first, but Joe Tex and what's the Wilson guy? But it's R&B from the 50s, 60s type of music. Everybody's jumping and dancing around. James Brown, yeah, definitely James Brown, young Michael Jackson, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of gospel too now, a lot of gospel.
Okay. So what was your first concert then?
Sugar Hill Gang and at the Richmond Coliseum.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sugar Hill Gang, and it was amazing, man. I can vividly remember that concert. I had some orange corduroy pants on, and they went over well with some niceties in the crowd.
Yes.
And the Sugar Hill Gang was amazing. Again, language, man. Rap was super compelling. So,
And how old were you for that then?
I had to be, I think I was 16,
Okay.
16, 17. Yeah, I was 16, 17.
Wow.
Because when I grew up in a foster home, man, like I didn't go to McDonald's until I was 13. That was the first time I went to McDonald's. Yeah. Saw my first movie at 13 and went to McDonald's the same day.
Wow. Yeah. What was the first movie you saw?
Let's Do It Again.
Okay.
So that's Sidney Poitier with Bill Cosby.
Right.
Yeah. Hilarious, great. And went with my cousin, and it's Kid in the Candy Store.
Yeah, exactly. I want to bring it back to you were saying, the conversation, how it makes people feel and all that.
Yes.
Would you feel good thinking about that stuff?
Oh, of course, big time.
Sure do, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. That conversation is incredibly powerful. To have an exchange. We don't per se know each other, but look at us. Here we are. You're willing to ask and listen. I'm willing to talk and listen, and all of a sudden, you're having a gratifying time.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah. Do you believe aliens have visited Earth? You think that maybe they live among us?
Absolutely. There's just no question there's other life forms because I'm one to understand the power of the spirit, you know. I think it would be foolish of us to think that we're the only species. We have evidence of it, but yeah, and it's not something that I'm fearful of.
No.
That what we're speaking of is it's to me. I always talk about the creator, that which created me. I don't believe created me for harm, or to harm. I really don't. I just believe that we have free will, and once we rock in this form, it takes on different challenges, and some people handle it, in a way that breeds togetherness, and others do it in a way that it makes it a little tougher. So, but yeah, I would gladly invite an alien. I play one on TV. I play
Yes.
I played Clyde on the Orville, not to get
Orville,
back into that, but just saying, so the possibilities, of course, and I don't see it in a nefarious, ominous type of way.
yeah, yeah. All right, Chad, I want to respect your time here, man. I'll ask you a couple more questions. We'll wrap it up here. So,
Uh,
um,
okay, bro.
tell us a near death story, like where you're like, holy
Ooh.
crap, I could have died just now.
Okay. I was driving on the highway in Kansas because I was stationed at Fort Leavenworth, right? And I was coming around a bend, and it was construction. It was a blind bend, and just around the bend, because of the construction, there's a car. So I take hard left. With the hard left made the car spin twice across the highway of the oncoming traffic, right? And then and all the way back, it went across that, ongoing there, then swirling, still coming back across the ongoing on this side, and I slammed into the wall, facing the oncoming traffic, but off on the side of the road. So
Wow.
that's not, but just as calm. Everything felt in slow motion, man.
I
It
was
was
just
it
gonna
was
say, like,
unbelievable.
it's
Yeah,
crazy, right? Like in those
yeah,
circumstances, boom, it's like suddenly time
yeah.
slows down.
Down. Yeah, the mind and the body. The mind and the body are protecting you. So it protected me on that one. And the other time I almost drowned. So
Oh,
yeah.
what
Yeah, I
happened
was
there?
young, man. Man, dude,
Like
my
riptide or
hubris,
what?
I dived in, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You're not such a great swimmer. What are we gonna do? And I bounced my way. I just bounced my way. You know, I kept just enough. Oh, I didn't ask. It's a pool full of kids, man. And I just bounced my way down to, and just pretty much kind of just throwing up the pool water. Nobody even knew. Nobody even bothered to look. Yeah,
Isn't that crazy? I've probably talked to, I don't know, like 600 people in the last 8 years doing this podcast. And
right.
I don't ask everybody, but I probably ask like 80% of the people, like, share a near death story. And like
Yeah,
95% of the people I ask, they have one. Like
yeah.
everybody's had a brush, man. It's crazy.
That's it. And
Yeah.
and those, I mean, that lets you know you're here for a reason.
Oh yeah.
So
Big time. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Chad. I'll,
But
I'll ask you probably the toughest, only because it may be an impossible question for you to answer. But so far, thus far, career highlight. Can you nail it down to one thing?
yeah, Broadway. I was on Broadway, and the President Obama, and the First Lady Michelle. They came to see the show. It was August Wilson, Joe Turner's Come and Gone. So that's truly the highlight for me. Everything else is a incredible blessing, but I came from the theater, and so to be able to do August Wilson's work on Broadway, and not only that, I'm sorry, uh, Meryl Streep was with them, and so the Secret Service snatched them up afterwards, and Meryl came backstage, and I just saw this woman coming towards me, and then she just kissed me in the mouth, and she was crying, and she said, "You're an amazing actor." And I said, "Oh my God!" And then that's when I was like, "No, forget the president. You're the president of actors." So thank you
Wow.
for that experience. And she was explaining that the Secret Service had to snatch them up, and that they wanted to come backstage. So that was the tops for me.
Yeah, that's incredible. Is that something that you'd go back to, or are you on the
Oh
screen?
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. It's just challenging to do it because you have
We got that one
responsibility.
take. You don't get take one, two, three, four. You go.
No, well, as far as the work itself, that's not hard. It's just the time demand and the
Oh,
pay scale is a different animal. So I got to get some of these blockbuster movies and get this podcast to sky through the roof, and
and
then
then
I'll have playtime. So
yeah,
I'll be able to do like Denzel does. That's what I aspire to, and Willem Dafoe and folks like that. So
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great, man. Thank you again, Chad, for joining us here in Vancouver. You're easy to find online. It's just simply your name, Chad L Coleman, on both
that's
Twitter
correct.
and Instagram. I can't wait for your podcast to see what's kind of up your sleeve.
Yes, indeed. You're gonna love it, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
look forward to it.
yeah, no angles, just real, honest, good, connective conversation, and people being, just being authentic. Nobody's performing. Everybody, you just get to peek inside that kind of realism, and people who are secure with themselves to share things, and it's really wonderful. It's
Yeah,
sort of like Tyler Smiley or Charlie Rose kind of vibe.
right, right. Well, we look forward
With a
to
little more silliness.
April 16th, and we're going to be able to actually get into the Zoom as well and hang out, which is very cool.
Great. And you can ask your favorite star a question. Yes, you'll be
Yeah.
able to do that
All right, man.
if you so choose. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.